Alright, hello everybody, it's K-TheSupreme. Um, Wanted to quickly show you a little something that I've been making for a good while. If you've been popping into Inzam's stream lately, seeing him play the game, seeing a bunch of things that you're like, hey, wait a minute. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. Or if you just seen some of my Dragon Ball clips that I've been uploading on Twitter, they'd be like, hey, what is this? Well, this is what it is. Dragon Ball FighterZ version 1.3K. It's a balance mod that I made upon the latest version of the retail game 1.38, I think. Um, the objective of this mod was just to like tone down a bunch of stuff that was seen to be a bit too egregious, like some crazy ass normals going from full screen, auto combos, heavies, what have you. But not really like reverting the game too far back, right? I'm not really too fond of early season 3. I'm a big fan of like all the additional stuff that they've added to make like these characters more what's the word? Like stronger in their character power, like higher conversion ability, stronger win cons, more interesting synergy aspects, all that good stuff. Though some things have admittedly gone a bit too far, so that's what I'm trying to tone down a little bit, and also boost up some of the lower tiers of power or their worth in the team, right? So just to get it started, let me tell you about universal changes. Some of these changes are pretty big. One of the biggest ones right now, I think, is that the health values have been buffed from 10,000 to 11,000. Just because people tend to die from basically anything in this game, right? Usually, you hit the Spanish combo, whoops, you get tagged by whatever. Maybe 16's not the best character to demonstrate with. Well, not even the best character like that. But for the most part, since conversions are just easier to do, and damage across the board has just been like really high. You get 2 touch from basically like anything. Any random hit, you get into like a really bad situation, and then you're basically guaranteed a touch away, right? So with the health buff, it was to still keep that 2-touching aspect, but just on more purposeful interactions, right? So you just got like a big hit, and then get your safe jump. Oops. Wrong assist, but yeah, they'd be dead. I think. I don't know 16, but yeah, the general rule still applies. So, if you just get your good hits purposefully, you can like do your damage, get your positioning. If your character can't really do that, you always got crazy corner carry in this game anyways. So this change, it just makes it so you don't get hit by random bullshit, which happens a lot in the game with like Super Dash or like homing Key Blast, Beam Super Dash, blah blah blah. Alright. Next change is the meter gain nerf has been removed on everybody, so all the fusions don't have meter gain nerf anymore. Lab Code still has it, but it's not as crazy as it used to be. She has Gogeta Red's old meter gain nerf, like 75% modifier, which is good for her because she still gets like her meter, right, on a standard B&B. Bar and a half, before she could barely even build a bar, right? Without the meter gain nerf, she'd be like building up 2 bars, which I don't know, seems too strong for a character who seems to have basically everything, right? There'll be more changes to Labco when it gets here. So next is oh yeah, before I go on, the reason I removed the meter gain nerf is because despite it, it didn't really seem to change the performance of those characters who had the nerfs anyways. Like Fusions won the grand finals, man. So, and this was like, oh, but it was like Fusion 17, the best team in the game, or something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Generally speaking, even before when like Janemba and had it too, those characters were still performing adequately as well. And 21, she was still like considered like top 5 despite having no meter gain at all. So, more direct nerfs were probably more required than just a plain old meter gain nerf, right? Next is Key Charge, which now, as you see, gains way more meter. Like beforehand, if you just held it and didn't do anything, you probably built like at least 25 meter. Now you build like a bit over half. Also, you can't cancel into Dragon Rush anymore, so that full screen Dragon Rush thing, that's gone. It was pretty useless, I'm not gonna lie. I have replaced it though, where now you can dash cancel out of the Key Charge. So this makes it a less committal thing to do in neutral, right? Because basically, if you just do this, you're stuck for like 45 frames, 48 frames. Well, not 48, more like 42. Let me see here. Yeah. 44 frames, right? You're just stuck there, but by the 20th frame, you can dash block. So, makes it a little less committal. It doesn't like, invalidate Key Blast too much. It's just like another option that you could probably use, like, maybe Micro Dash out of like a Key Blast volley, or at least, you know, profit a little bit more from characters who are too overzealous with their Key Blast. Yeah, it just makes it, a more efficient way to charge meter and also a less committal neutral tool, right? I think that's cool. Next, it's kind of hard to demonstrate with 16, but so stupid, right? Okay. So the next change is during hit stun, the special tag, it's faster and it has no landing recovery. This was just a good synergy change, you know. Some characters can get special tag into DR that they generally couldn't before. Like any character with like a multi-hitting beam, they can do this now. Beforehand, they definitely weren't able to do this. So, little cool buff. The reason why they don't have landing recovery anymore. So it's hand in hand with some changes that it's kind of hard to demonstrate with the characters I have on now. But I wonder if this will work. So if you're playing a character with an OTG, nah, that's not gonna work with him. But if you have like an OTG grab or something like that, I can use 17 for this. So you tag in, you get good positioning on something like this. You know, you can run a more efficient mix-up. That's kind of the general idea, right? You know, like characters who can OTG off of these type of things. Um, they can do extensions on things that probably weren't possible beforehand. They could probably get better positioning for their level 3 Oki that they couldn't do before, right? So it's just a little more for the team building aspect. Just a bunch of tactics that you couldn't do before that I think you should be able to do. Just to make the team building aspect stronger. And also some characters who have OTGs, like OTG throws, they'll be talked about as well. Anyways, another big change is change to sparking. I've reduced the hit stun on sparking. So before there, the frame advantage would be like around the 20s, right? Like plus 25. This was basically allow you to like you spark, empty vanish, and you'd be like plus 14 there, but now he's like 0. And then, depending on how he techs, let's do a down tech. You do down tech, you're -5 there, so the empty vanish spark tactic has been nerfed dramatically. And I basically just turned this into more of like a neutral reset. It's pretty good for like a get off me tool, you know? You still got, if you got like projectiles that are really fast, like 16, or a good projectile assist, or a lariat or whatever, it's still a good way to press your turn, but now it's not a total momentum shift, right? So basically what always happens is somebody gets knocked down, they do this, and then you know, you do like a bajillion damage. If you have like a character who's good at building meter, they build like 5 bars, and then they level 3, and now you guess per game, and then you spark back, and then it loops back again. Or, you know, you have to just block this oppressive mix-up, so with that nerf, it just kind of limits the empty vanish tactic, so there's just more to consider now. It's not totally useless, right? Because of how quickly that you can like recover. This has happened to me. You don't even notice until it's too late afterwards, right? So basically, let me show you what I'm talking about. Pretty bad at explaining stuff like that. So it happens so quickly that you can't really react in time, right? This is something that maybe you can train yourself on, but just based on like your opponent's or your own reaction, you probably won't always get the immediate tech anyways. They could still be advantage enough to spark empty vanish, right? And if you're savvy to that, then you can just train yourself tech sooner, and then you still have things you can do afterwards, right? You can like, if they try to empty vanish, then you can like dash forward or whatever. Or you can try an anti-air, and if they're privy to that, then they can do something that beats anti-airs with dash forward. But it's not like concrete answer as it was before. Back then you just spark, empty vanish, and that's all she wrote. Now they have to hold this mix-up and either spark back or just try their hardest to survive. That's basically how the game went. So I changed that. Also, another thing is that spark used to be kind of like what 0 plus 1, something like that, but now it's -3 on block. So Spark has a lot of pushback on block. Oh, whoops. Yeah, Spark's got a lot of pushback. So not every character's gonna like get something good off of this, right? But for the characters who can, it just puts another layer, something more interesting than just, oh, they sparked, now I'm gonna frame for my way out of here. That's basically it. So against 17, against 16, it might not be that effective. Or like against Bardock if he's got like meter for EX area or something. Won't be that effective, but yeah, just a lot of interesting things that you can think about now. So even if you block Spark, it's still pretty much your turn. They can't like press an advantage, but they're not totally helpless either because they still have a good amount of space to, or at least a good amount of frame advantage depending on the character to counterattack with their frame 4 reversal or raw tag or blah blah blah. Right? Spoilers, I didn't change anything about Raw. With all the ways anti in this game, like damn man, name me one random character in the game that has no answers to raw tag at all, like on the ground or in the air, because everybody has one nowadays. If it's not like a big ass normal or an anti-air, or they have a super, which all supers are frame 4 invincible now, by the way. Why exactly would I need to nerf it when there are so many ways to beat it? Be like, oh, but it's just too fast or something. I'm fine with that. Because how many other ways do you have to actually tag out? If you'd be like, oh, in Marvel 3, when you raw tag, you die. You know how many other ways you can tag out relatively risk-free in Marvel 3? If you have a super that's like really safe, or you have an install DAC, then you're basically good, right? Dragon Ball, there's no such thing. So with raw tag, I'm totally fine with it. And also, it's a thing that homes in on you. Surely that if you're ready for it, you should be able to anti-air it. Or beat it, or however, right? So yeah, I'm not touching raw tag. Maybe if any of you guys can give me a really good argument for it. But for now, it's staying how it is. Okay, this is another universal change. Assists with multiple versions, with some exceptions, don't need to be called with assist plus direction, right? So I got Kepler on here, right? Before you have to hold up an assist for her to angle it upwards. All you just have to do is double tap the assist and then she'll angle it upwards. And this applies for every character with alternate assists. Only exceptions are Frieza A, Frieza B, Fat Boo B, Super Saiyan Goku A, and Krillin A. The reason for Super Saiyan Goku A and Krillin A not having this, they used to have it, but the issue is when they do their alternate versions, they spawn in different locations, and it makes it really difficult to implement this change because of just the way how the coding for this works. Yeah, so I had that removed. As for all the other characters I've listed, the way their projectiles operate, it's specifically tied to the projectile move itself and not the assist. So all these other ones are tied to their assists, but for Boo and Frieza, and another character I'll mention later, it's not the case. So for them, you just have to hold back plus assists like you do. Okay, and now another change is that beam assists, horizontal beam assists, have been sped up to 28 frames. And the only reason for this is simply because I think that neutral has evolved to a point where there are a lot of ways to beat these type of assists, as well as the fact that a lot of long-range tools are, I think, starting to power creep a little bit, right? And also, another thing, I just kind of saw Roshi A, and I saw the vision, like, how fast that beam assist was, like, oh, it's faster than a beam, like, and all that. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't want to nerf Roshi A, but I kind of want beams to be comparatively strong, but not as strong in the sense of speed. Does that make sense? I basically just wanted it to be stronger. That's really all. So yeah, now horizontal beams are 28 frames startup, as opposed to 34. Which I think is totally fine. I think it's totally fine. They linger for a while, and from full screen it's still kinda like... 21 is a cheater example because she's got everything, but yeah. Still pretty strong though, really strong, really strong. Some have been saying that it's too strong, and it was totally fine, which I agree, maybe. But I'm fine with this until I get more feedback on it. I'm totally cool with feedback on these things. I'm okay with changing as long as there's like a good argument for it, right? Anyways, moving on. Another change to assist, the lockdown T assists, they've been sped up to 22 frames in the retail, which made them virtually unreactable. Like, as soon as you blinked and that thing was on screen, you were basically, you had to like hold that or already be out of the way, which is really dumb. So I slowed them down to 30 frames universally, which I think was a totally fine speed for them to be at. I think they were 35 frames before, with TNC being the exception. But 30 frames overall for all of them, I think that's fine. And also, it's a good thing Goku Black is here. But cinematic supers, they don't cause double super scaling anymore. So, supers like this, supers like that, as well as Gogeta 4's level 1, or so on and so on, they don't cause double super scaling anymore. This is purely just about GT Goku because of his Spirit Bomb DHC. Just because how the Spirit Bomb DHC worked, any super that you do doesn't really matter. You DHC into Goku Spirit Bomb, you get Peanuts damage, and that kind of makes it like not really worthwhile. Why would you even have that DHC as an option if you get Peanuts after? It's supposed to be a super you combo afterwards, right? So it really defeated the point of having that as like a perk when somebody dies. So nobody really uses it at all. Except, I don't know, just to get a little bit more damage. But now you actually explode. And I think that's fine, your character's dead. If you had the meter to dump it all, like you had 7 bars, right? At 7 bars, you do your like 5k combo, and with this, you go into GT Goku. That's like, what's his super value? Like 1.5 or something, right? For his level 3. And then you DR into it, then you do his other level 3, and that's like 2,000 something damage. And I'm fine with that, man. If your character dies, and that's the reason why you want to play GT Goku, then yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, imagine having a perk where you get a super that you can combo afterwards, level 3 you can DC afterwards, and then you get Peanuts afterwards. I just couldn't wrap my head around that. So now, especially with the higher health value, I think it goes a long way. Some other supers have had their double super scaling removed, but I'll get to that when we get to that. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention this. I didn't touch every character, so if you think I skipped like Jiren or Piccolo or someone, I didn't touch them. They got no changes. Okay, now we can get to character-specific buffs. I'm just gonna go in it in alphabetical order. So we're gonna start out with androids first, so we're gonna start with Android 16. He didn't really get too much. I think he's basically really close, or like basically at being completed. He doesn't really lack too much. He's got Really good full screen presence, really good mid range with his big ass buttons, you know, this armor thing. Projectile invulnerable full screen grab that he can combo off of. If he's in Spark, he's a total monster. You know, OTGing this and doing crazy damage. I'm pretty sure he's got like a TOD from it if he's at Limit Break. And you know, he's got the 3000 minimum damage self-destruct super, so yeah, he's basically really good. He's also really good support thanks to his B assist, so it really isn't that much that you could do to 16, right? The only thing he did was just to sharpen things off, you know, just round his edges a little bit. So his JS, it's 15 frames from 17 frames, just to make it a little bit better as a full screen punish tool against like whiff beams or whiffed specials, whatever. I'm totally cool with that. There's also like a new spark loop you can do thanks to that. Yeah. So, new spark route, which is pretty cool. And then health heat is now fixed hit stun, so whenever you're juggling, even like high hit stun decay, the hit stun doesn't change. Yeah, so it'll always pop that high just to make it like a nice combo ender, additional damage applied, right? Just end your combos, you add in a bit like 100 more extra damage. I think that's totally fine. Level 3 has been buffed slightly, ever so slightly. I moved the position a little bit closer. We can cross up float now, which is pretty cool. It's obviously only like in the mid screen. It doesn't work in the corner. Still pushes him there. We're not going back to we're not going back to vanilla. Yeah. So, yep. And then, as the final change he's got is that his A assist now OTGs. You know, this is something that you'll see a lot more OTGs, OTG assists, something like that. Not as many as you probably think, but yeah, it just makes it more prominent. So now, if you got like an effective strike throw game, now these command grabs are going to be way more scarier than just I got this hit, I'm gonna do a level 3 into it. Which I think is totally cool. I'm okay with grapplers being this strong. So, yeah, that's all the changes 16 got. Now, moving on to 17, let me just actually get this out of the way. His A assist is nerfed, if that's all we want to actually know about. So, as you can see here, he got hit. You probably wouldn't be able to hit him out of this in the actual game. You definitely wouldn't be able to hit him out of it there. Basically, what I've done is I've toned down, I've lowered the amount of invul that he has. It used to be like around 20 frames, now it's 7. So it's basically like more like a parry. It's defensive first, and then it's offense later, right? Reason is because it kind of does everything for you, man. You can be as ignorant as you wanted to, and then even if you were wrong, you are protected, and if they were close range, you're like plus 35, and you get your mix-up, your offense, whatever you felt like. Now, it's... if you want to still do that thing, you're gonna have to be a little bit more committal, right? It's hard to test if I'm on the P1 side. Let's see what I can do. So, like that, if you feel like the attack is coming, and you time it right, you just have to press on time. Because if not, if you check, when you press, then you're either gonna get hit, happy birthday, or maybe get lucky. But the way that works, I'm totally okay. I'm okay with this. So yeah, if that's all you wanted to see, then there you go. Meanwhile, 17 actually did get a bunch of changes. I am a 17 main. Anyways, onto the character himself. His auto combo has been nerfed. It doesn't fly full screen anymore, and I don't really know why they keep making these changes. There's a nerf to scrub play, but it's also a buff to him because now he happy birthdays a lot more consistently like he used to before they decided to make this full screen for no reason. So Excel Driver, the light version, you can cancel earlier into other moves, just like by 3 frames. Doesn't really change anything about the character too drastically. Everything is still the same. It's not like you're gonna cancel out of the run or anything, but just makes these tools more accessible, right? The medium version has had its startup reduced a little bit. So point blank is 21 frames, from full-ish screen is 26. Before, it used to be like 25 frames point blank and then like 30 frames from full screen, around there. So this just makes it a bit better for approaching, mid-screen movement, all that. Doesn't hurt him at all. Doesn't really hurt him at all. I think this is totally okay, right? This makes something that he's already good at still pretty good though. Then his aerial fakeouts, the light and medium version, you can cancel into follow-ups sooner. Before there was like a bit of recovery when he lands, so to demonstrate, it'd probably be like that now, where it hits 37 frames. But now it's just faster. You know, just to make his aerial bait game stronger, you know, just to anti-air catch super dashes with barrier or stuff like that. His fake out for M during the Rekka and for L, they both have projectile invulnerability, and the medium version is back to how it used to be before the 1.38 change. The 1.38 change, I just couldn't really figure out a use for it because he goes backwards, and that's cool and all, but he already has retreat tools with acrobatic assault, so it felt redundant. It's not like he was like super safe or anything. And, you know, I just didn't feel it was something good enough in his kit to validate keeping. I just prefer this one because I've had this vision forever. So, yeah, this one has projectile invul, but it only stops having it when he reaches his apex. So he's not invulling through the whole thing. Wait, hold on. So say you do this. Okay, he hopped through the gaps. Thing is, he could always do this, right? I have a clip in my 17 tutorial, I hopped over Kepler's ball. He could always jump over projectiles, it wasn't very consistent though, he always got clipped. Using a beam was gonna be better. So, yeah, he gets hit there before he lands. This only applies to the medium version. Light version, as soon as he lands, the projectile invul stops. The reason I added this was just because he has projectile invul things. He's got finishing driver, and he's got his barrier, but all these things go backwards or in place, and I feel like, what exactly is the point of having this? Of projectile invul special that goes backwards? That's antithetical, I think. Right? And then you could be like, oh, so that he can profit off of his zoning. And I'm like, sure, fair enough, this takes a while though. Are you kidding me? Most characters, they can do this frame 4, he has to do this frame 28. Which is really funny. So if this man is trying to like beat, you know, Lariat plus projectiles, or projectile then lariat. Most characters like 18, 21, they just double tap S, frame for another protected period, right? And then 17, he's projectile invul first, then 20 odd frames later, he's totally invincible. I don't know, so I think him having an approach tool helps out his neutral, and makes driver just a little safer to use as well. But you still have to pay attention, see which one is more applicable in certain scenarios, which I'm totally cool with. This character can be high awareness if you really want it to be. And then Power Blitz. Power Blitz Charge has its active frames increased. This is just a combo change pretty much. But now he can link off of it and keep Power Blitz. A lot of these characters with like special moves that they access, I'm making them a little bit more accessible. Before you just need an assist with this, convert, now is not the case. I'm totally okay with this. It's only the regular version though. EX version is the same. Then Acrobatic Assault, he can now access his air options sooner. Before, he was locked for a while, until at least this point. If you did like an air normal, then you could like cancel into other air options. But now he has air mobility afterwards. Not immediate though, but just a little bit after he hops off of the wall, just to make these tools a little less committal. That's really it. Right? And that's all he got for his points. And finally his B assist, it moves forward. Also I changed the spawning, so before he'd be like where Labcode's meter is, right? Like the edge of her meter bar, that's where he'd spawn. Now he spawns closer, just moves forward. The reason is because if you've seen the guide, whenever you have a string with like a lot of pushback like this, then 17 works completely, or maybe more like this. Maybe, yeah, like this. Kind of hard to demonstrate with these characters, but if you have a lot of pushback, say you're playing Bardock and then you do like block string and with Lariat, then you try to call 17B. 17B whiffs because he's like way back there. The only way to make him come any sooner, any closer to where you're supposed to be, you have to delay it, and that sucks because no other assist with similar qualities has these issues. Like Yamcha A, Goku B, GT B, all of these things move forward, and it's never an issue with those characters. But 17 it is for some reason. I don't really know why. So this just fixes it. Just makes it more reliable. You don't have to do some asinine timing for absolutely no reason. Yeah, that's all 17 got. Moving on to 18. 18 is also one of those complete characters. He's very hard to approach. He's an excellent layout character. As soon as you like get a character down, then they have no spark. You put 18 in, and that's basically the win con. You won the game. Congratulations. So, not really much for her. It's just like some touch-ups. For starters, the aerial quarter circle back M. It has fixed hit stun. Basically, it just makes her combo enders more consistent, right? So. This combo doesn't work. That would have dropped. But now it does. That's basically it. And then last change is that the explosion from Destructive Disc, I've nerfed the knockback. So you can convert off of it. This was basically brought to me when I tried doing the Spark combos. She used to fly so far, 21 used to fly so far back, this conversion wasn't possible. So she got basically nothing off of it. But now she does. As a consequence, now though, she has really good mid-screen damage. Yeah, she does like over 5k mid-screen now. That's totally fine. Big hits with this character. I think it's cool with her since she doesn't really get uh, consistent knockdowns anyways, right? And all she does, she's basically footsing you from like this, right? She's basically footsing. That's how she gets these hits. But yeah, that's all 18 got. Now, moving on to lab code. So, um, so her, she got nerfed quite a bit. She got nerfed a lot over the years, with these moves being reflectable. Recently, this move no longer like jails into other normals. They nerfed the block stun, which was crazy. So she couldn't like do something as basic as 5 and 2 without it being guaranteed. So you could reverse a lot of it. The meter gain nerf, all that stuff. You know, some people even think it brought her down to like a mid tier, which is pretty crazy for someone like Labcoat, the greatest jack of all trades. So I gave her some adjustments, some buffs, some nerfs here and there. I don't think she's like as strong as she was in vanilla, I mean, in prime Labcoat time, or even like first nerf Labcoat or whatever, but still pretty strong. So first thing first, this jails again, but as you've probably noticed, these are still unsafe on block. I didn't like increase the recovery though. The recovery for these things are still the same, but it's just on block. They're just unsafe. It's good change to her pressure. So you can at least do this guaranteed, right? I'm totally okay with that. Then next change, I nerfed her spins even more. They are very unsafe. Very unsafe to block. The air version though, if you TK it, still less unsafe. You can even get it to -5 as usual. Or I think they're like -8. Some characters just had some issues trying to punish it, so that's why I nerfed the block stun on these moves. Same applies to her anti-air. Perhaps the strongest anti-air of all time in the game's history. Only -1. I mean, only frame 1 invincible. Even the air version, 360 degree hitting. This shit can even cross you up sometimes. If you're crouch blocking, you get crossed up from this thing. And you get a conversion, and even if they start reflecting, you can call your assist in time and make yourself safe. So now I just made it more committal, a little easier to punish. Most characters can't reflect Punisher in this game. It's only characters like fast lariats and all that. So now it's just some risk. Some risk Labco players have to make. Yes. Okay, I think that's it for nerfs. Then for buffs, her EX heal is special cancelable all the time. Just as like a good combo buff for extra extensions, extra damage. You know, if you have the meter for it, you can just 2-2H, 2-2M at the end of combos. To get like that extra bit of damage, which is cool. It's always nice having an extra bit of damage. And then her Photon Pulse, her super command grab, it's no longer a level 1, it's a level 2. Oops, I increased the wrong character's meter. It's a level 2 now. It doesn't debuff anymore, and you can combo into it now. But I've also reduced the range. Maybe to a comical amount. I might have to change this. But yeah, she can combo into it now. She gets her damage buff, pretty cool. There's no debuff though. Until there's a way that I can figure out how to apply a debuff that goes away on hit or on character death, there's just no way to go about it. Until then, this is how the character's gonna be. Maybe I'll buff the range just to make it better. But till then, that's just how the character is. Overall buffed, a little bit more committal. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've also increased the recovery on her spins there. And that's basically it. So moving on to Majin 21. Majin 21. She got a pretty good amount of buffs. Here's a good quality of life buff. I've reduced the knockback on 5S so that she can at least do her anti-reflect and get a conversion. Most characters can, but for whatever reason she couldn't. Which I think was unnecessary, but now she can, which is pretty cool. And for her command grab, I've increased the sliding knockdown time, so she gets actual Oki. Her air version, anti-air versions, the star has been reduced to 10 frames. For that version, for this version, and for this version as well. So in higher hit stun combos, she can like get access to steals more reliably. And yeah, now she can do this. She can get some actual Oki, even if it's side sauce, but that's okay. That's cool. That's a little quirk that she can work around as a character weakness, character quirk or whatever. And most of the buffs that she's received are to her steals now. 21 steals, they've been like okay. Main issue that I've had is that they just function as regular character specials, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but they're one-time use. So what makes them that much special from these other groups that she stole them from? They're exactly the same in functionality, right? Only difference between Majin 21's beams and a regular character's beams is that hers is like -8. And it's not even that special, because there are some beams that are also safe on block 2. Like, not safe, but at least in the single digits of minus. Like, base Goku's also like -8 or something like that. Cooler's was -4 in retail. And so on and so on. Some characters, they don't really have to worry too much about like block stun on their beams. Like, the average is -16, but so what? If you're blocking a beam from any range, you just go into vanishing on your +2, guaranteed. And this kind of applies to most of the specials she has. They're just exactly the same as regular specials, except now 21 can use them once. And it's like, okay, that's cool for combos. Pretty niche elsewhere. So I just decided to make them way more desirable than they ever have been before. We'll start with the Kamehameha. Kamehameha is now a level 4 projectile instead of a level 3, which means that she beats regular beams, but she trades with supers. So it's like Spirit Bomb in that way. Or EX Ball. Yeah. So if you're thinking that isn't this a bit too crazy for a beam to have this much priority over other projectiles. Just know that with a mere half a bar with any steel, even just one steel, it's already a level 4 projectile anyways. So it's like, okay, I got at least one steel. Do I use this one steel that's like just a regular ass beam that's -8? Spoiler alert, it's not -8 anymore. Or do I spend like half a bar, which is pretty trivial to get in this game, and then get something with way less recovery, similar travel speed, it's plus on block, or do I just use this boring ass beam? That's basically the decision making that you have. So now, without at least not using the half a bar, you can at least do EX Ball without having to do EX Ball. And then also a bunch of other changes. It's now that the recovery has been nerfed. So as a consequence, it's now +6 on block from -8, and the wall bounce has increased as well. So she can do stuff like that into corners, she can do stuff like this. And she could always link off of beams, but it was like height specific, character specific. Now it's way more brainless. The same applies to her air version. So she can link like this now, which I think is pretty cool. Then just to go on to the defensive ones, Solar Flare is pretty strong already. It's a frame 1, 360-degree hitting anti-air. That's pretty fast. Right? Only change I made is that it's special cancelable now. Just to make her pressure, conversions, all that a little bit better. Now if you have Solar Flare, you want to discard the steel into another steel just to end the combo, you can do that. Also, this jails into Super Dash on block, so nice, clean way to set up some powerful mix-ups and be like, oh, ain't that broken? Yeah, but she can only use it once, unless she's fighting a character that she can always get it back from, but that goes into her routing, and her routing from her command grabs, they don't really do that much damage anyways, and you know, it's a whole lot of decision making. You could just like, just save them so she gets 3 bars and then loop it all over again or something, I don't know. That's up to the 21 player to decide, which I think is way cooler than just having regular specials. So, onto the same steals. The Ki Blasts aren't too particular, you can't really make them too strong without making them kind of broken. Like, I'm not gonna give her like anti-reflectable Ki Blast or anything like that. So, all I did, I made the projectile speed faster. And you can backdash out of it if you just want a nice retreat option. The air version has its landing recovery removed. And also, it restores your air dash if you use it. So you have access to like a pseudo double air dash pretty much. Whoops. License swing. Yeah, pseudo double air dash. Or whatever type of mix that you're trying to get off of this. I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah, something like that. Something along those lines. You get it. That was basically just a combo extender, need pressure tool, so yeah, pretty good buff to to the same steals, I think. And then for a defensive one, depending on how you take this, the ground command grab is no longer an anti-air. Um, yeah, unfortunate. But it hits crouching now, so she has a 17 frame command grab that she can combo off of. Pretty nice. Also, you can cancel it into her command grab as well, just to keep the steel rotation going. The air version is still anti-airs, but it's also faster. Before it was also 17 frames in the air, now it's 10 frames. Just again, to make it consistent combo tool. I also don't want it to be worse than her actual command grab, than her baseline command grab. So, yeah, you get this, get a steal going, and then you do the rest of your combo. A lot of these changes just make having steals easier. You just always have steals now, which I think fits into her character type and her character identity. And now we go on to her android steals. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They're not key blasts anymore. So you can't reflect them. You can't super dash them. Let's say guard cancel reflects. As you can see, can't do it anymore. They are genuine beams. Yes. Good old plus frames. Good old explosion beams, right? The air version, I've increased the gravity in which she falls. So some conversions from high up are a little bit better. Yep. So combos like that are possible now. Pretty cool. And they are no longer affected by hit stun decay. So no matter how long the combo is, the hit stun will always be the same. So you can get really juicy damage off of it and at least get more steals at the end of combos. What's interesting to note is though, depending on character size and positioning, it's possible that you can convert off of this without using the dive. And I'm totally cool with this. I think it's actually really cool. So yeah, some experimenting to be had with that. And then, oh yeah, I forgot. With the beams, she can whiff cancel it into her other projectiles. Let's get you to... Wait, no. So she can now do this on whiff. Yes, this is the ultimate neutral killer beam. Yes. This is a boss move, which I think is appropriate for a steal. Anyways, let's continue on with her barrier. So, barrier, all I've done is I've let her cancel her barrier into other specials. Not super dash though, that'd be really crazy. But maybe not crazy enough for me to not implement it. I don't know, I'll see. But yeah, she can go into this, go into that. So you know, some good old anti-zoning if she really wants. And obviously this applies to her command grabs as well. So yeah, she's got a barrier command grab. She's doing 17A stuff by herself. Very cool. Another quirk about this though is that if you have steals and you cancel it in, You can do this now, before you couldn't. Which I think is awesome. This is a cool change that I really appreciate having. That's it for her. Android seals, now her alien seals. Didn't really get too much. You can now cancel her orb into her projectile. Before, she could only just do it into Super Dash or Vanish, even though they said you could special cancel it. So I don't really know why they missed this. But she can do this now. Very cool. The air version has less recovery on it, so you can link off of it easier. There you go. You can link off of this. You can link off of it mid-screen as well, but it's tricky. It's very tricky. And then her ground warps, which gotten really good. So the speed of which she warps has decreased. So she teleports faster, and also the recovery has been reduced. It's basically EX instant transmission that Goku Black has, but for free. Very cool. This also applies to the air version as well. Just faster overall. Another thing is they are cancelable from specials. So you do this, you can convert off of it, or start your pressure. Same with this. This also applies to her dives as well. So yeah, so she can do stuff like this. She's swagging out. Really cool. Okay, and now, last change is to her level 3. At least her point changes to her level 3. So, pretty big change for her. Let me just give her some meter. So, 2 big changes, I think. Change number 1 is that she has some actual OPs, not before, but it's 28 frames now. It's not like crazy 4-way type OK, but now she can at least get a safe jump. As you can see, the same as her air level 3. And biggest change of all is that Peep her health value. I think she just lost like 4k off of that. Now, she recovers 2,000 health. Like pure red health. Every time she does the level 3 OT. So, self-sustaining character. Ever since I saw Krillin with his full heals, I saw 21 lab coat using a command grab with full heals, and then all 21 gods just like measly 600 blue health or something like that. A pretty negligent amount. And then they have the audacity to give her this useless super. And then it's like, oh, when you do this super, it regenerates 60% of her health, and it's unblockable. It's like, whatever. So I gave her genuine health back, 2,000 health every time, which I think goes a long way in her support role or comeback potential or whatever, right? Speaking of her support, let's talk about her A assist. Her A assist is also angleable, just like Kepler's. So you can angle it straight or upwards. I don't really know why they didn't give this to her. I mean, I might have an idea, but it's either that they're lazy or they just didn't feel like it. Either one of those 2 things. And then her B assist is actually good now. So I've increased the total amount of invulnerability that it has. So let's just say like that. It's pretty bad angle. Okay, so weirdly nothing happened there, but before 21 would have just lost. 21 would have lost. The invulnerability of this was negligible. It was totally useless. Now you can actually use it like a defensive assist. Very cool. And as another neat buff, it OTGs. Yeah, haha. Pretty good buffs for her support overall. Now we go to the war. This man Bardock. So Bardock has gotten pretty decent amount of changes. So let's start with small. His 5M goes slightly further now. Reason why as to why I did this was just so he just has some anti-reflect off of his 2L. As you can see here. Let's put in some dash momentum. Or at least get them into corner. You get them close. Then you should anti-reflect like that, right? It's finicky, but it's possible. As long as you got the dash momentum. His 2M is now 9 frames from 10 frames, so you can mix you mid-screen now. Pretty cool. How would that assist though? There we go. Yeah, something like that. So his reward is better. 5H. It's 13 frames now from 15. This will go hand in hand with another buff. Overall, it's not really that impactful, but it does go hand in hand with some another buff I'll mention later. His 5S is it goes across the screen faster. So before it was like average speed like 27 or however fast the average speed is. Now it's 24 frames, which I think fits into his speedball type kit, right? Main issues with Bardock is like his neutral is really suspectable, and then even if you do get the hit, his reward is not really the best. Because you get this, and then you have to do this, and then you get peanuts for what characters usually do with no real issue. They get full conversions, they get meter back, blah blah blah. This man Bardock, he doesn't do any of that. But that's changed now. So moving on to his Rebellion Spear. I've increased the travel speed a little bit, so this moves faster in like the same distance. Pretty cool. The medium version has its startup reduced to 7 frames from like 9 frames or 8 frames, however much it was. I've also reduced the landing recovery, and also he goes up here like a little bit faster too. So yeah, that's gonna make it a little bit better as an anti-air or an air-to-air starter or something like that. The medium version, in the air, the travel speed has also increased, and it is also 7 frames. So what this means is that this man has the fastest, most consistent cross-up in the game, I think. Like, yep. Then you get a conversion off of that. It's pretty cool, you know? If you block right, it's not like it's the end of the world or anything. It's -5. His turn is basically over. You can just chase it down or something. Anti-air for good reward, blah blah blah. But now he basically has this for going downwards. Yeah. Now the heavy version. Oh yeah. Also, I guess that this applies to the medium version. On the Smash It, I've reduced the knockback. So you can convert off of this now. Very cool. And also because of the added momentum from his 5M, because of his increased travel distance as well to reduce knockback, you can just blink like this now. This applies to the follow-up version of his H version as well. So he can get conversions without spending additional resources. From 5S is a bit tricky, you have to delay it. But that's just a skills check. So yeah, that's pretty cool. What else? His Raging Meteor, his overhead, have increased the bounce time. So you can link up this with the medium and the heavy versions. This is not applicable from high up with the air versions, but if you're like low enough, you can do it. So this allows him to link with like this. But there are some circumstances involved. It doesn't really work on every character. Like small characters, this link, I don't think it's possible. Maybe I'm just bad, but yeah. There we go. There you go. You can link off of it. It's tight, but you can do it. Yep. Next up is his Parent Lancer. So 2 buffs. The amount of chip damage has increased. You'll definitely feel this the more you do it. Goodness. And I've decreased the recovery on hit, so he can act out a bit faster. Basically, what that combines is in certain positions. With the 5H change, you can link out of this even further than what you could before. And in mid-screen, combined with the new changes to all of his other moves, you can convert off of this. A pretty sweet basic conversion, with some resources applied. You know? I'm cool with this. Most characters can combo off their plus frame moves too, for less damage, but they don't have meter applied. But Bardock can now, as long as he has some resources. Oh yeah, I've also slightly increased the distance. Just by a little bit, but you'll definitely feel it, so it's a little harder to get outspaced. Right, this would whiff. That's not the case. Matter of fact, you can even get that extra bit of plus frames easier than you used to. Yeah. So overall, some really good buffs. Then, the buffs don't stop. Bardock is one of the few characters where his level 1 doesn't apply double super scale. And this is mainly a kid rebuff. I'm not gonna even lie, this is a kid rebuff. Spoilers, his level 1 doesn't have double super scale. So, yeah. Just a good old kid rebuff. And then finally, his quarter circle back with light and medium. I've changed the recovery, the distance from the opponent. He's just a little bit closer, but more importantly for both versions, the advantage has been reduced from, it's been increased from like plus 28 to plus 44. So in the corner you can get a good old safe jump out here. or like float high-low or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. Good old safe jump. If you have the meter, you can vanish, and then you can do some messed up left rights, all that stuff. So Bardock, just to round it off, basically the same character, but he functions more reliably. He just functions more reliably. That's it. That's really all you have to do to make him good again. Okay, moving on to Beerus. This character got virtually no changes. The only change he got was a nerf Swiss level 3. Now it has like actual recovery for both versions. Yeah, you can actually punish him. That's really all he got. Moving on to S. Broly, only change he got is that this is 11 frames now from 16. This was just remember when I was talking about that special tag change with these characters? Yeah. So with S. Broly paired with basically any grappler, he is going to carry your ass. You play this dude with like 16, then you will feel it. So that's basically all he got. Z Broly, in comparison, he got a lot more, maybe a bit too much, but I don't know. I won't. You'll be the judge. So first off is 5S. The recovery of it has been reverted back to vanilla, so it's safe on block. So now you can like go zone really good again. Congratulations. His JS is also faster. It's from 17 frames to 13 frames. Just purely for the combos. Behold. Now you can lay on way more damage, gain way more meter, and zone better in the air as well. Then probably one of the biggest changes is I saw the grab lead. I saw a character called Versusia. I'm like, huh, that fireball looks really cool, so I gave it to Broly. So now he has a fireball that's slow and speeds up, and then he has another one that speeds up and slows down. Stops in place, and explodes after a while. Really cool. I think it's just really cool. Depending on how you feel about Super Versusia, you're just gonna be like, ah, oh, man, in this game too. And bonus, it applies to his assist as well. Man, that thing is quick. But yeah, you hold back when you do this assist, then he'll do the slow version as well. So some really good buffs. The Broly profited off of the system mechanic changes that I made and direct buffs. That's basically it for him. Now let's go to Cell. This character is basically completed. This man is just too good in the mid range. Great damage, great meter gain, great corner carry, just really bad assists, which I think is fine for a character with like point potential. And it'd be like, oh, but assist, you see assist is cool. Like, yeah, sure. So all I really did was I just made his own win cons more accessible to him, pretty much. Well, for starters, the rolling crush sliding knockdown duration has increased. So this used to be a safe-ish jump, now it's a genuine safe jump. Medium version and heavy versions are like this as well, and the reason why I did this is simply because to make this worthwhile, to make this something that's actually possible, JS OTGs me, so you can do this. If the gears aren't clicking, just pretend this is Cell post like 3 OT. And then you do something like that. If you're hard, you do something like this. Whoops. Yeah, do something like that, you get like crazy damage and all that stuff, right? That's all he got. Good change for him. Really good change for him. Makes him uh, a lot less meter reliant, a lot less assist reliant. And all that. Cooler, all he really did was get damage buffs, maybe some pressure buffs depending on how you feel about these changes. So, anyways, um, 5S is 8 frames, JS is 10 frames. So he is definitely pushing 100%. Watch your legs. Yeah. And his beam has less recovery. So before it's -4, now it's -1. You combine these two things together, what you do is you get really, really, really high character damage. Not the highest, but considerably more than before. Also, bonus, his OTG is not affected by his sun scaling anymore. Yep. Cooler B goes way further now. It goes further, trust me. And that's all the changes he got. I don't really think he needs any more changes. Now he has access to good OP way easier. He does way more consistent damage off of a 5L, you can break 5k. So yeah. Really cool, and he's got that additional damage buff as well. So Frieza, he didn't really get anything. All I did was make his eye lasers higher projectile property. Simply so that if people with multi-hit projectiles, let's say Beerus, is like trying to like do this, before there was kind of nothing Frieza could do about it. Now it's just get up my airspace. Like, oh, but he could already super dash cancel out this. Well, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So great quality of life buff, I think, for him. Okay, so Ginyu. I didn't touch him, I just nerfed him. So these don't go full screen anymore. That's basically it. That is all. Moving on. Gogeta Red. He didn't really get anything either. Basically, his A assist before when he got hits, when he did the taunts, the meter gain wasn't guaranteed. But now it is. So before it was only the level that was guaranteed, but now it's the level and the meter, which is way better. Okay, so that's just little quality of life change to now Gogeta Blue. So he got some nerfs. His 2L is 9 frame startup from 7 frames. His 5M, it's a frame faster, goes a little bit further, but it's way worse on block. His 2M, the range has been nerfed. Yes, the range has been nerfed, you have to believe me. And the recovery has also increased. His 5H is basically how it used to be, the vanilla version, so you can't just combo from it, from like beam to this. His medium, it doesn't go full screen anymore, and trust me, this actually goes way further than it looks. I mean, it doesn't go as far as it looks. I don't really know why. It looks like it would reach from here, but it doesn't. So yeah, that's been nerfed. That tactic's been nerfed too. And that's basically all he got. So he's the same, except now he has Mr. Gain again. Real Mr. Gain. So now we go on to Adult Gohan. Um, in level 7, when he has access to his special cancels, he can no longer special cancel into other moves with his frame 1 reversals. He can do it on his frame 1 anti-air though, but frame 1 DPs, no, even in Spark, this aligns it with all the other characters. A change to his normal when he's at like level 1 is that the full thing doesn't go airborne anymore, but it does if you hold forward. This was just at a request for gamer flow. Something about his reverse speed being stronger. And then change to his B assist, which I really only did to differentiate it from Kefla B and Videl B, which I'll talk about when I get to them, is it goes further. Way further. Oh! Snap. Might have to actually check on that. But anyways, back to Gohan. Yeah, the assists goes further. You'll see this reflected with Kefla B and Del B as well. They're also different in their own ways. So just to make these assists stand a little bit more. I think this is cool. I think this is cool. So now it's Team Gohan. He didn't really get anything either, but now his B assist OCGs. That's it for Team Gohan. So now we move on to Base Goku. Base Goku has gotten a lot of changes. A lot. Oh my goodness. First, let's go off of his normals. His 5L has reduced startup from like 21 frames to 19 frames. His 5LL also has reduced startup. Reduced recovery. These moves have reduced recovery. My bad. Reduced recovery, right? So this is -3 from -5. This is -2 from like -4, -3, around there. His 5M has had his range increased a little bit, but as you've seen, he also has his recovery reduced by a lot, right? 2M also has recovery reduced. It's -4 there. You can space it out. It'll be +1. Kind of like old school Super Saiyan Goku 2M. It's pretty cool. 5H is also -4 now. So basically, most of his normals have had his recovery reduced. 2S has its recovery reduced as well. It used to be like -8, now it's -4. You can also cancel into the follow-up way sooner than you used to be. And to round it off, his 2SSS is now plus on block. The recovery has been nerfed on it as well. This allows him to link into his other normals. The only issue with some of these base Goku changes, I think for me, it might not be an issue, is that it made base Goku way easier to actually play. His execution requirements has gone down a little bit. So yeah, that's an unintended consequence, but it is what it is. I'm fine. A little bit miffed, a little bit. There's just no way to have my cake and eat it too. It's either he's easier and more effective, or he's harder but just more inconsistent. So that's just the way it is. Next is his J2L. I've reduced the recovery a little bit and increased the hit stop. It is still very unsafe on block though, as you can see. His J2M is cancelable into his Spirit Bomb charge. Very good for him. Very, very, very good. Next is his Heavy elbow. It used to be 10 frames, it's 8 frames now. And I've reduced the recovery as well. The air version no longer spikes you downwards. It's just a straight horizontal line. Cool with this. Also, it also has the reduced recovery and the reduced startup as well. That's like another unintended consequence. He can link off of this. I think it looks cool. You could probably loop it, but I don't know. Yeah, so you can do that now. The medium and heavy versions have their invulnerability duration increased. So now until he actually starts to hit you, does his invulnerability run out. Before it was only up until like this point where the invulnerability goes away, but now it's at least here. So it makes it a way better reversal, which is fine for a character who is notoriously bad for having no reversals. Like, you can't even do a level 3! Couldn't even do a level 3. Like, how bad does your defense have to get to not even be able to use your one universal reversal option? You know what I mean? So, this is totally okay. And there's still ways to stuff it out if you're smart about it, but it's kind of hard to demonstrate. I think if you've got like a spaced out beam or whatever, then there's ways for you to beat this. You can still like do the old fashioned way, jump over super dash, when you see it coming, blah blah blah. But yeah, this reversal is an actual reversal. Very cool. So next up is back throw. The light and medium versions are cancelable into his Spirit Bomb charge. The light version is cancelable into Spirit Bomb itself, so you can get a crazy high amount of damage. I think this is around like almost 5k, I'm not too sure. But yeah, you get way more damage, way more meter than just, you know, thing into vanish. The medium and heavy versions, they no longer go full stream. They do if you're in hit stun though. So any spark combos that he has, they're still the same. The medium version of his command grab, you can combo after it now. If you want to sacrifice your sliding knockdown, you can convert off of this. Yeah. So now his beam has more hit stop on like a close range version, and the float has increased. So all this allows him to super dash off his beam and actually convert, where before you just needed to have it in like his what you call his sweet spot, pretty much. Now this is just always possible. As another consequence, it means he can do this now. Yeah. It's like two consequences. You can't like really do his old loops anymore. Well, you can, if you delay it by a lot. Very difficult to do. The timing is so different. You have to delay it by a lot. But now, you can just loop beam into normal, into beam, into normal. Kinda like Roshi, but better. Because he's linking heavies instead of lights. But yeah, and for those who are concerned like, oh, what about his mid-screen beam rejump? He still has it. As you can see. So there's that. Now I want you to peep this. So Spirit Bomb. Wait, let me put down the meter. So, when Goku charges up his Spirit Bomb, he gains that much meter. Before, if you charge it again, you gain less meter. Now you gain way more. So if you're really savvy and saving Spirit Bomb, every combo you gain basically an extra bar. Speaking of Spirit Bomb itself, it's got a couple of buffs. Number one, the star has been reduced from 21 frames to 18 frames. Yeah, there you go. So it's 19 frame startup now. Not 18, my bad. It's more advantage on block from like, it used to be +3, now it's +6. And the chip damage has increased as well. So yeah, Spirit Bomb is just a better tool overall. And also another exception, Kaioken doesn't have double super scaling applied to it. So if you're playing a character who also doesn't have double super scaling applied, especially if you're like down to 2 characters, you can do a crazy amount of damage. This also applies to his level 2 as well. So he can nuke you if he is like down 2 characters and has a partner who can double super as well. So if you're playing GT Goku and you DC into Spirit Bomb with that level 3, from level 2 into level 3, you're just doing grip. You are doing a ridiculously high amount of damage. Which is cool for these 2 characters who gain more damage when the less characters they have. And finally, some changes to his A assists and his B assists. So, his A assists, the startup has been reduced 20 frames, and the block stun has increased to 40 frames. So, it's more in line with like your GCB, 17B, blah blah blah, right? Then his B assists, gains more meter, and if he already has Spirit Bomb charge, it gains more meter still. It gains like a bar and a half. So you are gaining crazy amounts of meter. Is it a bar and a half or is it? I forget. Okay, it's like a bar and a quarter, which is still like a lot of meter. But yeah. And that's all the changes. He got a lot of changes. Oh my goodness. Got so many changes, I don't really know if you could even say he's a bad character anymore. He still has like the really bad full screen presence, right? Not bad, but like underwhelming full screen presence, right? He still has a beam. He's got this, which is better now. He's got regular Ki Blast. He's got Spirit Bomb, which got buffed. But, you know, mid-range is kind of pitiful still, even with all these changes. But that's cool. It's with the character I didn't see. You know, I don't really like it when characters are just good at most things and suck in some parts. I like it when characters are, like, good at a lot of things, bad at a lot of things. And I'm not really trying to make every character, like, a top tier. I'm just trying to make them the best versions of themselves. So, Goku Black is like a character who kills neutral really easily with his 5S, God Slicer, Dive Kick, Instant Transmission, all that. It's just that he's very meter reliant. And he also kind of doesn't really do damage. That's all cool and all, I'm just trying to make him a bit more consistent. So, in line with these consistent changes I'm trying to make to him, that would have dropped by the Ki Blast, right? So his God Slicer Ki Blast no longer is affected by hit stun decay. So the last hit is always guaranteed. And last change is that his heavy God Slicer, his heavy dive kick OCG. So that's a neat change. That's basically all he got. He already had a lot going for him, so that's really all he had. GT Goku, he got some pretty good changes, I think. So his 5H, I reduced the startup of it to 9 frames from like 13 frames before, and the whatchamacall, the recovery's been reduced as well, so it's -4 now. So it means he can do combos like this, even in person, but he can do combos like this now. Pretty neat. You might not want to be doing that nowadays because another change I've given to him is that his reverse Kamehameha can be followed up 4 times from 3 times. So now he can combo like this. So he's getting way more reward from mid-screen hits, or even random hits from like Super Dash. He gets good conversions. And finally, for his point change, the Super Freeze on his level 1 has increased, so this link is now possible. Only consequence though is that your DACs are going to be a little bit more delayed until he actually hits them. But, you know, I think that's a consequence someone to take. Just for better super damage, right? So now you don't have to use EX all the time just to combo into super. And then now it's the big changes he got to his support. Because even though like a character like him, he's like okay on points, but support is where he really shines. So remember when I said horizontal beams were 28 frames? GT Goku is also 28 frames now. He's like the only character I've changed who doesn't have a horizontal beam to be this fast. So very, very strong neutral assists. Very strong, very, very, very strong. Matter of fact, it was even stronger. It was 25 frames before Inzum told me to slow it down. Yeah, but that's the speed of it now. His B assist, stayed with me now, folks, at OTG. Let me demonstrate what this guy said. So yeah. Really is the assist that does everything, this one. It's fast, it basically has fixed hit stun because all the hits hit at once so quickly. It OTGs, high block stun, blah blah blah. Stops guard cancel mechanics. So, yeah. Very good assist to choose between the two of them. So it just depends on which one you value more. Do you like the broken neutral tools, or do you just like the broken mix-ups and conversion tool? So yeah, that's basically all he got. So Super Saiyan Goku got a good couple things. First off, his 2H is 11 frames now, and he jumps high. He jumps basically as high as Blue Goku does. Thing is like this character is like the ultimate normals man, right? So he's got this really good normal, 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 this really good normal, this really good normal, this really good normal, this is also pretty good. So just to round it off, I gave him another really good normal. Before it was okay, now it's really good, really good. One of the best anti-airs in the game. Like, he will catch you. If you're like right under him, he will catch you. It goes almost as high as Janemba's, which is really good for a character who has like better horizontal reach than Janemba. Right? So besides that, change. I'm not even sure if it's actually like really noticeable or even like effective at all. But his EX punch, um, character now will turn around to him. You see how he turns around to him? Before he wouldn't really turn around, but now he does. So whatever type of reversal option you had that beat this, hopefully the inputs won't be crossed up anymore. And then the aerial version of his tattoo, his diagonal angle has been increased. Before he used to like fall down a little bit when he did this. This applies to his H version as well. The reason I did this was just to make this more reliable, even in awkward positions. Before this wouldn't work, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not like foolproof. But from most hits, this will work. People wanted this to vacuum on hit. The only reason I didn't do it was just because of cool combo potential. There's a thing where you can, if you got like the high for it, you can do that. And if you had it, whatchamacall, if you had it like vacuum, you can't do that anymore, which I think sucks. It might be like, okay, what's the point of this? It's just a style. I like combos like this, man. Most of my channel is full of combos like this. So that's the only reason why I didn't have it. Vacuum on hit. Sorry, man. That's just the way it is. If I had the ability to alter hitboxes, I probably would have just made the hitbox bigger. But that's all I got. I can't alter hitboxes, at least not yet. So next, final big change is to his level 3. 2 changes, actually. Change number 1, you can anti-air it now, and then you're probably going to be like, why would you want to... What do you mean you can anti-air it? Why? I don't understand. Well, it's very simple. I'll tell you why. Because it tracks in the air. It tracks in the air, and it is also air okay. So it's basically 21's level 3. Just to round off his conversion ability, because this character probably has the greatest conversion ability off of any other character in the game. Every hit, it's always gonna like lead to really good damage, corner carry, blah blah blah. So just to round it off, if he has the meter, you don't really have to like vanish into DR or anything like that. So just do this. Oops. Just do this. No longer bound by banish or whatever, you just do this, you get your damage up, you go for your left right or something, and that's basically that. Okay. Now we move on to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So Super Saiyan Blue Goku, he didn't really get too much. I think what he did get was pretty cool though. So let's get some meter. His medium command grab wall splats the same way his heavy command grab does. And you might be wondering why. It's not like this was hard to convert off of before, or the EX version already does it. Well, the EX version doesn't do that anymore. Now, it crumples on hit. So, not only does this look sick as hell, but I have virtually gave him a restand, if you can actually link into it, right? Let me try and demonstrate what I'm trying to say. We'll just... Yeah, so basically, you get your restand, and then, if you got like an assist that can do it, or like Bardock, or you can just like reset with this. Then you can get your mix-ups there, right? Just depending on what assist you have. Just like a little extra thing. So this is cool for like corner carry and all that. Do stuff like this. Yeah. See what I mean? So that's cool. Next up is that his aerial dive kick, his medium dive kick, is the startup has been reduced to 17 frames from 18 frames, and he is altered by momentum. Wait, 16 frames, my bad. So as you can see there, if you do it late, he's altered by the momentum a little bit. Why? Just so that you can do this. So now he has a little bit better corner carry thanks to the JS extension, and also in long combos, you can end off with JS without having to do EX dive kick, just to give him more resources to work with for the next hit. I'm totally cool with this. Just need some points to do the point thing and gain resources for the rest of the cast without having to always spend EX. Speaking of EX dive kick, now it hits OTG, and also even even if you've already used up your smash for the OTG, for the sliding knockdown, it'll do sliding knockdown anyways. So you can get your safe jump here, more or less. Safe-ish jump, I don't know, timing's kind of difficult. And continue your offense anyways, even if you've already used your sliding knockdown. It's pretty cool, or, you end your long combo with this, you super into this, and so on and so forth. Also, instant transmission is faster during hit stun. Like he just teleports, and also the Y value has increased. They float a little bit more, so he can link in the corner, not mid-screen though. Not mid-screen, as you can see. Why? Just to support that niche restand thing that I was talking about. If you have the assist for it, if you really want to do something like that. Also because his combos look cooler. And the only thing is, it does make some timing a little bit iffier. Like if this was a smaller character like GT Goku, doing this instantly doesn't work. So you do have to like delay it. Unfortunately though, it only works for things when you're like going up. If characters are like going down, he stays in place. He doesn't track very well, as you can see. Even if you did delay it. Yeah. But if they are going up, the tracking is better. It's kind of niche stuff that you can do from here. This won't work on him. I think it'll work on Super Saiyan Goku though. So you can do stuff like that. Pretty cool. And lastly is his level 1, which is one of the lucky characters who isn't affected by double super scaling. Why? Because I always thought this looked really cool, and I got really mad when they took it away. So this will do the full damage all the time. Very nice. And that's basically it for him. Now we move on to UI Goku. UI Goku also got like a lot of buffs. a lot of buffs. To start off, his 2M goes further, just to give him, like, an anti-reflection. Whoops, wrong. So here. So, yep, anti-reflex. From some complaints I was hearing, this wasn't very consistent, but now it's always guaranteed to work. Very cool. His 5H doesn't go as far as it used to. Before he just went full screen, now he doesn't. His 5S has gone down from 21 frames to being 17 frames, similar to his JS. It still only interacts with like Key Blast or sometimes ignores it. I was gonna make it like blast through Key Blast, but then I realized he can do this. So on the very niche situation where your Key Blast will just ignore the 5S and hit him, if you're good, you can do this into this and it'll combo. Let me see if I can get this down. This is gonna be hard. Let's see, what about... Oh yeah, it has to trade. I did it with Jiren, but this might be kind of difficult to show on Goku Black. But anyways, something he can do, you're gonna have to trust me on it. So his 5S also wall bounces a little bit better on the first hit. I'm not too sure if he could do this before, but now he can. So that's that. His medium lariat has frame 4 Kiba projectile invulnerability. So if you see him do nothing, you better be prepared. I think that's always been the objective to do that though. I mean, he already had this. And he already had this, so now he has this as well. Pretty consistent, I think. So don't be too committal on him. So this move scales better. Basically back to how it used to scale, I think. I don't know if you're getting this much damage previously, but you are now, so that's pretty cool. His anti-air is not an anti-air anymore, it's a DP again, fully invincible, like it used to be, and it OTGs as well. So if you've got the meter for it, you do this hit to vanish. Man, this is kind of hard to show off. Oopsies. Yeah. There you go. You get some pretty good damage off of that if people get hit. I and if you have the meter part. Then his level 3 has Oki. If you've seen the clip, you know about this, but if you haven't, let me show you. So now the hit position after his Oki has changed, and he has more advantage as well. So what all this means is that he can left right you with EX. So this is a cross up, and if you do it sooner, you'll get a same size. Shit, I fucked it up. There you go, same size. Yeah. Also, as a note, obviously, this also doesn't have double super scaling, just to make it clear. You know, it's also a cinematic super. So yeah, that's all the point buffs he got. Some changes. His assist got buffed as well. His A assist is vanilla. It's back. The greatest defense assist before Roshi B. It's back. It's back in all its glory, man. Here we go. And just so that the B assist doesn't fall behind. I didn't change the startup, by the way. It's like the same. But take a look at this. It is fully projectile invincible. Yes, yes. Full projectile invulnerability. So his support is gonna be really good. Really, really strong. He's a very strong character. He's a lot of fun now, actually, to be honest. Now I have this menace. I hate this guy, but I didn't nerf him. I actually buffed him. So buff him how? Well, now that you've seen this meter, you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this. Oh, wait. That's the wrong setup. Oops. You know where I'm going with this. Yes. The recovery of Super Ghost Kamikaze attack has been reduced, so his Oki is stronger. That's all the point buffs he's got. Special cancels are the same. And also, his A assist startup has been decreased by like 10 frames, I think. And I have also increased the hit stun. So yeah. A much more reliable combo tool. Maybe more reliable neutral tool as well. But yeah. Those are all the changes Goten's got. Okay. So Hits. Hits, an intriguing character, very unorthodox. I hate his guts. He's just way too hard to interact with for me. But regardless of my own grievances against him, I buffed him anyways. So, what he really lacked was routes. They killed this route. He can't do this anymore. He can, but it's really difficult and I think character exclusive, so not really much he can do in terms of solo damage like he used to. At the very least he had those loops, but not anymore. Now to rectify this, and also just to improve his pressure, which has also been flagged for just being a little bit weak-ish, very conditional heavy. It's strong, but as long as you're paying attention, then you know you can defend against him pretty easily. I made it harder for him to be defended against, because now he can reverse speed. Yep. Yep. So you can do this. Yep. Try and block that. What this also means is that he has routes now. Yeah, there you go. Actual routes now. His corner damage has also been improved as a result. He can get more than this, but that's the example here. So he has actual routes now, and also in Spark, before he couldn't. When he did stance hits a special move, he couldn't cancel back to that stance, so his spark potential is pretty limited. Now it's not the case. Can do this. So yeah, it doesn't really change his combos too much, but his pressure does get really good now. That's all the changes he's got. Janemba. His auto combo doesn't go full screen anymore, obviously. And his B assist is it's involves a Ki Blast as soon as he appears, just to make it a better anti-Ki Blast. So now we got Kefla. Kefla got some nerfs. So her I've reduced the block stun of her ball, her light ball. So now she can no longer scale this into Super Dash from beyond certain ranges. Well, not even beyond, just she can't jail this into Super Dash, period. You can anti-air in that, but I think where you're allowed to, though, is a little finicky. I don't really know why, but yeah. Which I think is fine, because for a Kachu who could already do, like, this, pretty good. You do this with, like, an assist, and then you're basically in there. Do this as well, that's also really strong. She already has good projectile stuff, and then her EX Lariat doesn't go full screen anymore, or like as far as it used to. Now it just kind of goes as far as the Legion version does. Which is cool for a character who already had this, and this, and this, and who could do this, or even this. So it just makes sense to me, right? So now the mid-range is scary, but from here, you have a lot less things to worry about versus Captain. So now her B assist buff, it's faster. It used to be 30 frames, now it's 25 frames. Remember what I said about differentiating them? Look forward to Fidel B, I guess, if you're into that assist. So now we move on to Kid Buu. He's got a lot of changes. He already profit off of some system mechanic changes anyways, but let's go over them. It's 5M and JM. The second part hits like a little bit faster. Man, it's hard to space this out. Yeah, it used to hit at 31 frames from there, now it's 29. Same with the air version. Just to make the whiff recovery a little bit less. It's still really bad though, but a little bit is better than nothing, I guess. So, wait, his JL, when he's doing JL, the second JL would whiff. Now it's not the case. Yeah, as you can see. We can do this again. Welcome back, Kid Boo. Nothing too extraordinary, but this one probably is. I have buffed his command grab anti-airs. You know, this anti-air, pretty unreliable horizontal range. You can kind of cheese him out in a lot of instances. So I decided to make his special stronger. Very strong. The startup on his light version has been reduced to 8 frames. So perhaps the greatest anti-air in the game. The greatest anti-air throw the video game has ever seen. The scaling of this has also been reduced as well. This applies to all the command grabs, but let me actually get some meter. Level 3. Look at his health bar. That did like almost 5k. So if you got like an OTG assist or somebody you can like tag in quickly, you're definitely getting way more reward. The medium version also has its startup sped up to 14 frames. Back when it was like 18 frames for no reason. So he's converting off of this. But if you know Kid Boo, then you're like, wait, that's the same speed as his heavy version. So what exactly is so special about the heavy version, not that the medium version also combos? I'll tell you. It's guaranteed to hit all the time. So you can do this, then you can do this again. So now he has a guaranteed way of getting fighting knockdown. So now we got to talk about his arm ball. It's got 2 big buffs. Buff number 1 is that the speed of it has increased, so the travel speed is way faster. You use this in conjunction with whatever assist, let's say, it's a good thing Krilling's here. So, you call Krillin B. Whoops. And then you get your mix-up. Replace Krillin B with GTA, and then you see how evil this can really get. So, change number 2 is that I have increased the hit stop. So let's just put on Guard Cancel. Give Janemba some music. So, before, if you Guard Cancel this, you could Guard Cancel as soon as the first hit. This just happens when moves have a lot of hit stop, right? They just delay your Guard Cancel. So he's like invincible here, but your mix-up that was used to not be guaranteed at least now you're basically safe. You're recovered and you can punish them, right? I mean, this was already plus on block, so this doesn't change too much, but for like Spark and Vanish Guard Cancel, especially, as you can see, they're locked out until like the last hit. So you're just free to run whatever offense you want if you're quick enough, as you can see. You can bait it out, and same applies for Sparking as well. So they're locked out from like 2 of the best types of defense Guard Cancels. Also, what this means in combos is that if they're in hit stun, right? These hits just basically lock them in place. And then you can get like whatever kind of conversion you want. So that's also pretty cool. This Candy Beam restores 700, or was it 500? 500 red health. So it's not just blue health now, it's full on health now. Also, the knockback of it has been reduced, so we can combo to this mid-screen as well. And also, as I've alluded to when I said about the kid buff, his level 1 doesn't apply double super scaling. So if you play Bardock or... oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this also applies to Cell. Cell level 1 doesn't have hit stun decay either. So you play Bardock or Cell, any other character that I've mentioned thus far, and then you can dub super with them, Super Saiyan Blue Goku if you can. Then you can get way more damage, just like the good old days. And of course, the change to his arm ball also applies to his A assist. A assist though, the startup has been reduced from like 59 frames to 50 frames, just to make it a little bit less of a hassle to use. It was even faster than that, but fears arose of like this being kind of difficult to guard cancel against, considering that this locks you out of your defensive mechanics now. So mix-ups are just guaranteed. Let's put on guard cancel spark. Let's fix it corner. So see how he only sparks after I've hit them with the mix-up. So yeah, that's Hidru now. Hidru A, the best lockdown assist in the game, some would say. Now we can talk about Krillin. Good thing he's already in here. He got nothing. He only got a nerf. Total invul of this has been slowed down. Has been toned down like that. So now you can hit him before he recovers. Before, this was not possible. That's basically all he got. So moving on to Majin Buu. That's right, I didn't change rocks, didn't change anything about him. That's all he got. Fat Buu got a whole lot of buffs. So this doesn't go as far as it used to. Auto combo got nerfed. The 5M is 25 frames compared to what it used to be, like 27 frames. They have characters with command overheads like Kefla being faster than his only medium, so I'm just making this up to par with solo mix-up options. You know, it doesn't even have a 5M, a regular 5M, so that's a sacrifice. His 2M is safe on block now. Before it was like -11, but now it's -5. Recovery's been reduced as well. Same with his 5S, -5 from like -7 or 8. So a little less committal in Ki Blast Wars and just Ki Blast usage in general. His 5S, the spread used to be crazy, but now it's more linear. The reason for this is because there were some instances where, let me say, he's like crushed, right? And then you see how some of those Ki Blast whiffed? It still does, but before it was even more absurd. So you couldn't like banish confirm off of this reliably. But now it's not really the case. It's been lessened a little bit, but that's how it is. So now for his probably like the best change he has is that his Fat Throw now forces Sand. Before he used to tech out of it, like EX version, which doesn't apply. EX version still forces the tech, but this version, not anymore. So now you can get like your genuine mix-ups or whatever. The reason I did this is because making a team that optimized Buu's strengths was really difficult, because not only did you have to have a team comprised of at least an assist that didn't leave them standing, but the best, like you have to have an assist that left them standing on hits, and also the best the best type of assist to have was an assist that hit once, because multi-hit assists, um, when they hit in high hits on decay, you can reflect out of it, so that just hindered his options for synergies. So now, basically, you can still have a little bit of that limitation just to profit off of his EX version Spat Toss. But now, if you finish your combos with basically any assist, not like that though. And then, you can get your mix-ups. Then, depending on what assist you're rocking, you can like maybe set up for a 4-way or whatever. And I think that works out for him rather than just being limited to an assist that has to cross a lot of check marks before it becomes like viable for his synergy. Because for the most part, most people who play Boo now, I don't even think they even use his restands. They just like set it up for Oki. And while this is like a good Oki tool, it's like, okay, what else does this character have if you're not really doing it for the restands? I mean, he's got really good solo mix, even though he has like really bad frame advantage and all that. Like, yeah, he can like build neutral and do damage, but like it's corner dependent as well. So unless he's already in the corner, he's kind of a whatever type of character. So at least now he's way scarier with like a much scarier win con. Also, his level 3 similar to March 21. Fat Boo's level 3. Fat Boo's level 3 also gives back 200 raw health. So yeah, these margins can heal themselves. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now we go over to the next characters. Oh wait, yeah. Now the B assist for Fat Boo. So this also forces damage. So now you can run the Boo game plan without actually running Boo. So you know how Kid Boo has like the ultimate lockdown assist? Well, it's like good at making people block, right? You put them in block stun and then you mix the hell out of it. Well, now Fat Boo is like, you get them in hit stun and then you mix the hell out of them. Both these assists are kind of bad at most other things, right? They're like slow or something. Fat Boo B has no block stun at all, barely any rage. Kid Boo, ridiculously slow. After a while, if you just keep backing up, it has like a maximum range. It won't go any further than it does, right? So a lot of ways to like stop these assists from happening in neutral, but once you got like the hit on them or you kept them blocking for their respective assists, then they really shine. So it's either you rock with those assists or you just pick a more standard, more applicable alternative assist, which I'm cool with that type of balance. So Nappa, he got nothing really. The only change I made was to the Cybermen. 2 changes. Change number 1. EX Cybermen is no longer invincible to projectiles. And change number 2 is that the hit stun properties for the Cybermen have been reverted to previous versions. I did this at the request of Dragon, FG. Highly proficient Nappa player, probably the best Nappa player we have right now. Just because, quote unquote, more like parentheses, I guess, just so that Nappa could be cool to play again, or something like that. I don't really know, but yeah. At first I just nerfed the hit stun just to nerf it down, but I just reverted them on his requests. I'm not an Apple player, so what do I know? Anyways, Roshi, I played this man, well, this guy. I nerfed him. So, nerf primarily to split kicks. I nerfed the scaling on it. So, he doesn't murder you. Just gonna do this basic combo just so that you can see. Yeah, he's doing way less damage. Before it would be like over 5k, now it's like barely scratching 4. Not to say he can't get high damage anyways. Like if you got the routing down, he can still break 5k from this, but it's just more effort. Before it wasn't a lot of effort to do this. If you did put in effort for your routing, you just got too much damage. But no longer the case. Oops. Whoops. Okay, whatever. If I completed that combo, I don't know, it'd be like almost like 5k, more or less. But yeah, damage got reduced, and also it is now unsafe on block. The only reason I did this was just to make characters who had like 5L lows be able to challenge him after he did this, so that they don't have to guess between this and this all the time. As funny as it was, I thought it was like really stupid that he did. Maybe you can still do it with this though, but now like Lab Code 18 and Adult Gohan, they can actually challenge him on block. Now his B assists got buffed. They sped up the startup. It's 20 frames from 25 frames. I could have given it its defensive properties back, but I thought this was also a pretty good chance too. So, you know, if you're playing Gogeta 4 or something, it's more worth your while. I think it's pretty good for a strike assist to be like this fast because, you know, it's really big. really, really big. And he still has some invul on it anyway, so yeah, really good change. Next up, we have Baby. So, all he got were nerfs. His 2L is 11 frames again, and his level 3 has Grazer knockback. So that makes up his dead. So he's basically just regular Baby from when he came out with all the buffs he got to his zoning. So yeah, that's him. That's him done. Now we got Tien. I think I broke him, but I'll get to why I think that when I get there. So actually, I can get there right now. So it's the first change I gave. So Volleyball Fists, OTGs, both versions. This has made him really strong. Oh my goodness. Off of anything that gives a sliding knockdown, as long as he's like really close by, he's getting a combo from it. So imagine this is your level 3 Oki. You jump in, bam. Into this, into that, right? Really, really, really strong. Very strong. Some might even say a bit too strong for an overhead that's unreactable and it's also safe on block. So yeah. This also applies like, you know, his comeback grab. All of his overheads. Anything. Very strong. That's all he got on points. He got some assist buffs as well. His A assist is 22 frames, just like Roshi A. as a sacrifice of it only hitting once, having way less block stun than even Rochier does. Um, just a very strong neutral assist. Not really too much in the realms of block stun, but that's cool. I'm cool with this. And his B assist got buffed as well. Now he charges a full bar for you every time. I mean, if this assist is doing 0 damage, might as well give you some meter, right? Okay, moving on to Trunks. So Trunks, let's go over him. He got some nerfs. 5 LLL, doesn't go full screen anymore. Kinda similar to his old version, but not really. His 3M is gone. He only has 2M now, so no full screen low. Yeah. His 5S is reverted to like the previous version. It's 11 frames now. So full screen is 18 frames. So you know, none of that full screen stuff. His JS is faster though. It's 12 frames from 16 frames, so it's a better combo tool, better neutral tool, punishment tool, you know. I think it makes sense for something that lingers for this long. Like, you whip this, you're stuck here for like 46 frames on a character who doesn't even have like a anti-air in the air or anything like that. So that's fine. This is fine. Now his Shining Slash, I've increased the hit stop on the last hit. So what this means is that he can link out of them way easier than he used to. This wasn't possible before. He has to like use the 5L. This was just because since I already killed his 3M, this combo wouldn't be possible with his 2M. But now it is, thanks to the hit stop buff. His Change the Future got some changes. I've increased the vertical amount that they get hit by because I made his 5S slower, so this link wouldn't be possible if I didn't make the change, but it's possible still. Just to keep some old combos possible, while also just making some things a little bit weaker for Trunks. Yeah, another change is his feint has changed. It's no longer. Let me just put up the info display. 3. So holding it doesn't have the feint anymore. Instead, you have to press the button before he attacks, or while he's still doing the dash. Any button. And the reason is also related to the 5S change. Because of this, he can no longer like Masenko into 5S. So in order to compensate, you can do this. Oh yeah, also, he can cancel into specials faster from his feints. As you can see. Yep. You see how fast I was? If you're good, you can wave dash, and it's a pretty vulnerable wave dash. Gate kept by an execution barrier. I'm cool with this. So yeah. So we can do that now. Noso has another buff, or a change, I guess. When he does Masenko, he can special cancel sooner. So you're not just restricted on the last hit. This is just, I don't know, I guess it's my own skill issue, but timing this was really difficult. Or just inconsistent. So, yeah. There you go. So now Trunks can do that in Spark. Um, just to keep his Spark combos alive. Not that I've nerfed his 5S. So now, his level 3. Let me give him some meter. The heavy, the quarter circle back with heavy special. It tracks. It teleports to your position, it tracks. It's basically Beerus level 3. The reason I did this, very simple. For whatever reason, he's the only character in the game with a command grab level 3, and he can't combo into it from conventional means, right? You always have to use Vanish or some other unorthodox way of actually comboing into his level 3, because most other characters with the command grab level 3, they just do a move that puts them point blank, and they level 3. 16, he does his flying power bomb, level 3. Beerus, he does his dive kick, level 3. You know what I'm saying? So Trunks, he can't do this. He has to use Vanish all the time. Now, that is no longer the case. And then, last change is to his A assists. Two changes. So, change number 1 is that the block stun has increased from like 14 to 23. Almost a 10 frame increase in block stun. And then in the corner, the position has changed. Before, he used to like just run forward until he was in the opponent's face. It made it really difficult to actually use it in combos, but now, because of the distance change, you can do really easy conversions with this now. As you can see. Very good. Now we can go over to base Vegeta. Okay, if you're wondering as to why the stage changed, some IRL stuff had to happen. So, regardless, let's talk about Vegeta. So, this character, he got a good amount of stuff. His 2S is cancelable into his 5S. Same with his J2S. So he can do that. Wait, no. That hasn't changed at all. It's just his... That's always been possible. What am I doing? Am I stupid? Yeah, so we can do 5S into 2S. You can't do 5S. You can do 2S into 5S, you can't do 5S into 2S, but yeah. Cool. This also extends to specials as well. So we can do this, we can do this. Yeah. All that. Pretty cool. So you could probably do a lot more dynamic movements. Some repositioning, stuff like that. Man, my throat is crazy. Okay, so next change he got was that his air lariat has its recovery reduced. Basically, Super Saiyan Vegeta, more or less. I saw this and I'm like, whoa, that's just too cool. So yeah, that's the why he has that. Sometimes not all these changes are just like with tight balancing in mind. Sometimes it just has to look cool. Doesn't, as long as it's not overpowered or anything, it doesn't change too much. But still, it's a good thing for him to have. People were complaining, or at least Intel was complaining about this anyways. So, yeah, good buff for him. His medium rocket kick, on hits, he recovers basically instantly. And I've also increased the floats. Like I've increased how much they go upwards on hit, and I've also increased the hit stun a little bit. So now you can like convert if you're good. Convert like this. And he now has some new routes, because this also applies to the airbird. Oh yeah. Also another thing, the bouncing part of the projectile, it has more air hit stun, and his 2S and J2S also have more air hit stun as well. So this is possible now. I'm cool with this. The only real issue is this kind of invalidates EX. There really isn't any actual reason to use EX for the most part. Since they both drop in the same type of hit stun, and whenever you could use EX, the medium version is always the go-to. So really, this is just a pressure tool, or like DR Crush, neutral skip, I don't know. But it's just faster than the medium version, and you can convert. Yeah, it's just faster, and it flashes, so it's just for mix-ups. Maybe there's another way you can go around to balance that, but for now, that's just how it is. So with the medium rocket kick change allows him to do combos like this. Yep, combos like this. So full corner carry, you got the execution part, or if you don't, you can at least do stuff like this. And you can also do cool stuff like that. So you can do cool stuff like that as well. Pretty neat change. In the corner though does mean that this probably doesn't work anymore. So you're gonna have to adjust. Yeah, so you could probably figure something out there. Anyways, so this also applies to his heavy version. So you can get full conversions off of this without using Vanish or another special. Okay, I've also buffed the medium version of his rocket kick for spark routing, so you can do stuff like this. This wasn't possible before. Yeah, and also, as you've seen probably, this is 12 frames harder from 16. Just again for some special tags after like overheads, command grabs, whatever. Oh, and before I continue to mention, his quarter circle backlight has slightly less advantage. Just because he could link into this before. It was an oversight that I had to fix. I don't think it changed much though. I don't think it really changed much of anything though. So that's been sped up. Oh yeah, but as I was saying, with the medium version of the rocket kick, as a consequence of me increasing the hit stun, if you hit this meaty enough, you can link out of it. So, depending on your position, you can do stuff like that, which is really cool, I think. This doesn't apply to like close range though, as you can see. But if you're like further away, then you can like link off of it. Kind of tricky, but something to figure out. So yeah, that's all of his changes. Oh, and that's all of his changes on points. His B assist though, I've increased the blocks done from 25 frames to 30 frames, and I've also increased the distance he travels. So it's kind of comparable to Super Saiyan Vegeta B, a little bit worse because his one goes a bit further, but yeah, worthwhile buff. And now we go over to Super Saiyan Vegeta. He didn't get anything. All he got is Big Bang Attack, has double scaling removed. So moving on to Blue Vegeta. Of course, his auto combo range got nerfed, and his EX kick got slowed down from 18 frames to 21 frames. So basically what it used to be before they buffed it. Yeah. I don't think it applies to the air version though. Nope. Air version is still pretty crazy. It's whatever. Yeah. That's basically everything that Blue Vegeta has gotten. Vegito. So, he got a couple nerfs. Let's just go over, got some buffs too. So his 2L, it OTGs now. Pretty good, I'll explain as to why later. His 5M, not the God button anymore. It's a God button in a different way though. It's safe on block, 12 frame startup. It's almost like how it used to be before they went crazy. If you space it out, you can even be like maybe 0. Or yeah, or even plus, which is cool for like Vegeta. His 2M goes a little bit further. Just a little bit further. His 3S, 6S I mean, 6S doesn't track anymore. So it's basically like how it used to be. But it's faster than what it used to be. Before it was like 14 frames, now it's 11 frames. So he still has like a really good mid-range too. Then he also doesn't have a 3S anymore. So now it's time to explain as to why the 2L OTGs. It's simply just because he lost his 6S, 3S combo, right? So this was just to compensate for that. As you can see, that doesn't work. But you just have to run up OTG, you get your conversion. That's all. The only issue is because of the 2L OTGing, if you're really good, you can OTG from the heavy, the medium commander. Which I'm kind of mixed on. It's like, why even bother with the heavy version, but also at the same time, it's like, it's harder to do, and it's harder to land this version. It only works from like certain things, like his J2H, if you're in the corner, his JH, or his JS, blah blah blah. So it's fine, I guess. It's fine for him to have it. Moving on to Videl. My bad. Videl. Not really much to change for Videl. Tried to remove this, didn't work. I'll figure it out later. Um, so Vidal, her Frankensteiner used to drop in like high hits and decay. It doesn't do that anymore. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention for base Goku, it also applies for his throws. That's guaranteed all the time. Highest. Anyways, Vidal, her Frankensteiner doesn't work in highest and decay, but now it's not the case. I've changed it so it always works, no matter how high the hits and decay is. Her level 1 super, when the non-smash version is used, I've increased the hit stun. The hit stop. The reason for this is just to make her DH easy, because how it is now, when you want to DH into a character that doesn't have like good vertical reach, like say you're using Roshi, right? You DH into Roshi or you DH into Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta, or any character with like a purely horizontal super. It just makes DCing into this very difficult, especially if you're like on the verge of killing and you don't want to change into another character. So with this change, it allows her to do so easier with other characters, because now there's like a lot of hit stop, so you can see if it kills or not. It didn't, so you DC into whoever you want, and yeah. Other thing is, there's no double super scaling on this either, so you can just do some damage with this. She can do some crazy damage if she really wants to. It's really good. Really good. So if she's got the meat for it, then she's gonna kill you, even more than she already did. Oh yeah, also as like a consequence of the hit stop being added, she can't do a J2S from this on the non-smashless version. She still can, if it's, yeah, the smashed version, of course. But also, you can link into EX Command Grab from this, so that's pretty cool. And now for her B assists. Her B assists has more active frames on it. So that means is it also has more block stun. So it's 53 frames of block stun, almost as much as Kid Buu, but just shy of 6 frames. So you can, if you had like a fast low, you can just, you could probably get like a gapless high low. Okay, you got 4 frames in. Okay, yeah, there you go. Definitely enough for a gapless high low with Fidelity. Now on to Yamcha. Yamcha's got a lot of changes. So I didn't touch his lightning moves. Sorry guys. But I did touch his heavy. It doesn't go full screen anymore. It goes pretty far. You can still cancel it into itself or other moves. But yeah, his normals are virtually the same in that regard. His JH on launch it spins them now, and also I reduced the vertical knockback, so they don't go as high, and also they don't go as far either. I reduced the horizontal knockback as well. This was to make his rejump with his beam more consistent and easier on the cast, because as it stands, it's really difficult, kind of character specific too, with its timing. So that's the reason why I did that. Oh yeah, I've been skipping some normals. His 2H, if the first hit whiffs, the second hit will cost a smash anyways. I don't really see a reason as to why this shouldn't be the case. There are a bunch of really big-ass 2Hs in this game anyway, so why does it have to be limited in such a way? I don't. I really don't. And his 5S, I've reduced the recovery. Excuse me. His 5S, I've reduced the recovery Now point blank, he's like +4. I'm cool with this. This man, it's pretty interesting now with his 2S having like virtually no punishable frames. This 5S being a little bit similar, I think, is an okay thing for him to have. Let's see how much it really has. So, 31 frames. Yeah, that's fine for a character with like slow-ish single keyboard. Moving on though, there's a lot more changes as we talked about. So the second part of his Rekka scales better. So let me see if I can get this. Yeah, you're getting way more damage off of this. Before it scaled like a light or like worse. Now it scales around like a medium or even better than medium. You're getting... I think this move is like the best starter Yamcha has. You get a lot of damage, which is pretty good because Yamcha, even though he's got this, right, it's pretty good and he can like go into Dragon Rush. He's got like this retreat. And even like this anti-air, which can sometimes anti-air guard cancel. This character, his pressure is just really easy to check, right? And even on like, you stagger this, you don't really get any good reward. The only reward you ever get on Wolfang Fist is either from Dragon Rush or his cross-up, and I feel like it's not substantial enough, so if you frame trap with this, they die. I think that works out as any other regular character should. You know, you take like Naoto Kurogane from Blaze 2, it's kind of the same thing. You get hit by second hit of Banishing Fang, you die. Or at least even just construct, but unfortunately this game doesn't have fatal cannon, so yeah, just as a starter, does really high damage. So next change is to his Wolfang Fist Whiskers. As you can see, they have projectile involved throughout the whole thing. Let me bring out Vegeta. Yeah, so you can dance around projectiles, and if you see an opening, you can like use flash, if not, just retreat or whatever. I think this is also another cool way to get around Yamcha's like really bad neutral. This character has like no approach normals. All of his normals are really slow, even though some of them have info. It's like, what good is that to somebody who's just gonna clip you with the projectile or big limbs or whatever, right? And all he had was Wolfang Fist and Wolfang Fist Flash. That would be okay if zoners weren't as strong as they are now, or if some other characters didn't have more than just a really fast lariat, you know? So him being able to at least dance around the floor, the ground space, and like avoid projectiles, maybe get a punish, I think it fits him. So now, on to the next change. This is Kamehameha is now +2 because I've reduced the recovery. So even though it's slow, as long as you land this, you can press your turn if they're too respectful. You can just keep the pressure up even if they block it. Another consequence of this though is that from this, he can link into his flash. So in the rare instance he actually lands this, he gets a pretty good conversion for Alpha Bar. Next change is his Spirit Ball is level 1. I've removed the double super scaling on this one as well. So you can get some damage off of this. It's virtually like kind of bad level 2. it's a really bad level 2, but you can do that, get some extra bar and still... You can do that, do an extra super and still DC afterwards and it won't affect the double super skill, right? I think that's okay. Also it means, when he gets a hit off of this, you can do a conversion off of it. And still, like, do some damage. Let's see. This is tricky. Get this type of conversion. Man, we don't seem very good about that. But yeah, you get the idea. That's just what that change is for. And also, lastly, now is level 3. His level 3 has bad damage and no OP, but now it has bad damage and OP. A lot of OP. So you can go, you can dash up, you know, get your cross up, get your save side dive kick, do this, VR them, whatever you want. In the corner though, because he has less advantage in the corner than midstream, but like, it's not as much, but it's still a lot for like leaving you point blank. You can freestyle whatever you want here at this point. So, yeah, just really good in all fronts. Okay, so the Masu didn't get anything. All I gave him was a revert to his orbs. They hit at once again like they used to. So, reason as to why I did this is because when they hit like one after the other instead of at the same time, it ruined its tick throw setups. So with this done, even though the combos are harder, they're still possible, but they're just harder. Now he has his tick throws again, and he was already good anyways. He didn't really need any changes. Yeah, I kept this. This is weird, but whatever. But yeah, those are all the changes I've made to the cast and to the game so far. There might be some stuff I missed. I made a good chunk of changes and keep experimenting with some more changes. But that's basically all I've done to the game so far. If there are any other changes that you guys think I should implement though, I'm all ears. As long as there's like a good argument for it, then I don't mind. So yeah, if you want to download this mod, you can join the Discord. I'm going to leave it in the description. There you can find the patch notes, a bunch of other patch notes. You can like try and matchmake against other people in your region, give me some feedback, maybe even upload some videos on this. You know, I just want to see how this game evolves from this version.